The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest from my home state, the great state of Texas, with eXp Realty out of Austin, Brian Copland. Brian, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just super pumped. I've seen what you've done and just really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Can't wait to hear your story. You know, we had a little chit chat before, and I swear to you, I don't know if I was hallucinating, but I heard something about toilets. So I know this is going to be good, man. So let's just start from the beginning, and we'll get there. Were you like 6 years old, tugging at your dad's pant leg going, "Hey, Dad, I want to be a realtor," and then off you went? Or is there something more behind it?
So I do have memories of hearing about real estate around the house. My father is a licensed appraiser. He never enjoyed doing appraisals, so he always handed them off to other people. And my father made it through the 80s, you know, a lot of bad times then. And people think it's bad now, not like the 80s. And,
right.
You know, my father has some investment properties, and so I'd always hear about them and remember going up to his office, you know, and real estate was always in my realm, but I never knew that I was going to be in real estate. I loved playing sports when I was younger and very competitive. And I think that competitive nature really comes out in my career.
Yeah. Brian, are you telling me you're from Texas and you like to play sports?
Yeah, I know.
Wow, I wouldn't know anything about that. That's amazing. Wow.
No Friday night lights in my
Friday night lights.
But,
what did you? Baseball.
Lots of baseball.
Had to have been baseball.
Lots of baseball. Yeah, very competitive, and we won this Texas State Championship in high school.
Nice.
Here in Austin on Dishwalk Field. So it was a good time. But you know, coming to Austin after growing up, that's where it led me into my real estate path. And just a really funny story. I got in University of Texas, attended UT.
Right.
Not for 4 years, but 4.5 years. I think that's special.
Maybe
4.25.
Very special.
Summer. And my mother ended up reaching out to me and said, my sister, older sister, 2 years older, her boyfriend at the time was getting his real estate license. Well, I was in an organization in college, and there was a senior that would always lease everybody places to live. And so I kind of was like, all right, this is weird. We're like forced to use this guy. Which is fine. I got a great place. It was no big deal. But when my mother reached out to me kind of towards the end of my freshman year, she said, your sister's boyfriend's getting his license. Why don't you? And I said, no, Mom. I'm here for school and fun. Well, fun, then school, whatever, you know, you want. And so we ended up taking the classes together and ended up taking 3 classes. I think at the time it was 3 weekends in a row with my mother at real estate school, summer after my freshman year. Got my license, ended up going down Real Estate Row, I call it, and off 24th Street in West Campus, where all the students live. And I basically knocked on doors and said, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can I work here? I don't know. I got my license. Sure.
Right. And this guy says I'm qualified. Where's my money?
I have my license, right? I can drive, right? And so I ended up going to a company, a broker that's actually a very dear friend of mine today. And for many years, he said no. Originally, he was full. He didn't have an extra desk. And so I ended up walking down the street to the next office. This one looks good. And I was very lucky where I ended up. It was a company called University Realty, and it was just pot luck. And so I ended up with a broker who was really, really active in the investment industry with a lot of rental properties. And I ended up in a small boutique office where there were 2 other agents that were full-time, and Sam and Aurora, and they took me under their wings and started my career. And so I started leasing. You know, I had no idea what I was doing. I leased all my friends. I became that guy that helped us. By the time I graduated, I ended up buying a property. I ended up opening my own business.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's really what it's about, right? You're an entrepreneur. I always say HGTV lies to us, right? I mean, it's like, hey, just get your license and buy a fancy car and drive around and wave to everybody. You'll make tons of money.
Yeah, that's not the reality. I started from the bottom leasing, And it gave me a really good start and trajectory. And then I started building relationships with, owners in the campus area. And
Right.
today I have one of the largest lists around University of Texas. And so meaning that I have a lot of relationships with a lot of owners that pays off in many, many big ways.
Right. That's fantastic, man. Congratulations. I love stories like that. But you tease me with a toilet story. I didn't get to hear it. So
Well, I wasn't really cleaning toilets as a metaphor for starting off in leasing. Yeah, so,
oh, you
it's
got me. Okay.
it's starting from the bottom. You're
Well,
reminding
Brian,
me.
I did scrub some toilets in my days. Darn it, I'm offended. No,
You're reminding me of my pizza delivery days in
there you go.
high school, where you had to
It's the
clean up.
same thing, man. The same thing.
So it was great. So I ended up starting my own brokerage when I graduated. You're not young and dumb and you think you
Yeah.
know everything, right? And
Right.
kind of nice because you're just a freewheeling human at that point and you have no sense of risk.
Right.
And so I opened a brokerage and then that went okay for a year. And I had to create my own branding and create my own website and all that fun stuff. And then I merged with a couple of friends of mine a year after that. And that was the start of what I'd call my true career.
Right. So that's fantastic, man. So we talked about how you got started. Let's talk about today. Not specifically Wednesday, but let's talk about today. And where are you at? I mean, are you solo? I mean, I know you've just come aboard EXP. And so are you solo? You got a team, or how's that? What's working there?
So I'll take one step back because I
Okay.
think it's a good story. So I ended up
Okay.
merging a year after my own brokerage, merging with a couple of friends of mine, and I had a company called Realty Austin. We had that for, I don't know, 5 years. And what I realized quickly was I did very well myself personally, but the
Mhm.
company didn't make money. I just didn't know how to run a company. You
Yeah.
know what to do, right? I was young. And so I ended up then jumping to another local brokerage in town where I just thrived. I mean, it taught me how, I guess, the corporate world of real estate kind of works. It was very boutique, but well run. And I was there for 10 years. I think my best year there was up to 70 million in sales, and then the EXP opportunity came about. 10 years later, I wasn't looking. And when I
Right.
found out about the model, I just fell over my chair because nobody had ever spoken to me about it,
Yeah.
and it's created a new light in me,
Yeah. It's a
That's
new way
where
of thinking, right? It's a total new way of thinking. But you know what, Brian? You did have it, in my opinion. We don't know each other, but just from what you told me about how you got your license and you started going door to door, talking to the different agencies and saying, "Hey, I got my license. I'm ready, rip roaring, ready to go." That feeling of what it's like to really, you go out and you want to grab the brass ring, but you don't necessarily have the tools in front of you, and you're just looking, right? And EXP comes along and says, "Hey, everything you could imagine that you want to do, building your team, building your office, finding leads, whatever, man, website, social media,
you can build a brokerage without spending a dollar and taking a risk.
a dime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dime. And it's all there. I've met with internally, we went to EXP Con here in Vegas last month.
I'm so excited to go.
Yeah. And, I've actually met with and interviewed the person that designed KV Core. I've talked to, people that design all kinds of things internally and had them on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, nobody else is doing that. Not to mention any names of box companies out there, but nobody else is doing that.
Nobody knows.
Right.
I've been doing this 22 years. I had no idea. And I fell on it on a whim and I've taken off with it. And it just clicked. It clicked. And I feel so full of opportunity. And not only me,
right.
Team, we're rethinking how we do things. I've heard of virtual assistants, VAs. I didn't know how to actually implement them.
Right.
So we're rethinking what we're doing. I'm having so much fun. Actually, let me tell you this. When people think EXP, they have so many different opinions. And I'll tell you one thing that matters is you, the agent.
Right.
That is all that matters. No brand will ever make you who you are at the end of the day, period. Flat out.
Right.
And when I told my clients that I have made a switch, this was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
They all congratulated me. And
right.
they said, we are so happy for you. congratulations, because they don't care about the letters. They care about the person they're working with. And that is so clear to me and reaffirming during this process.
You mean that they don't care that you don't have a gold jacket on, or you're riding a red, white, and blue hot air balloon around town?
I've never had that opportunity.
I didn't say any names.
Yeah, no, I understand. I have some hardware in my office. It's
Well,
nice.
there you go. That's okay. Yeah.
But that has been super cool
Yeah.
to see it in play in real life, and reaffirming for what the relationships we have with our clients and how do we build upon those even in a bigger way. And the tools that I'm learning about and collaborating with other agents about already on a big way are going to help us grow beyond our wildest imagination. And that's the exciting part for us.
Yeah, definitely. EXP plays the long game. And you know what I mean by that. Anybody who wants to know can contact Brian and talk about that. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you about that. But EXP definitely plays the long game. And one day you'll turn around and really be thanking somebody, probably Brian, not me, but thanking Brian for
I'm sure you'll take credit as well.
I will take the credit. There's no doubt about that. So tell me about the future for you, Brian. We're we talked about the past. We're getting a little. Well, we didn't really get to talk about today too much.
Let's talk about it. Let's do it.
Let's talk about today. And what are you doing in your market? I'm very familiar with I really only follow two markets, and one is right here in West Palm, Florida, or all of Florida, and the other, of course, is my home state of Texas. So I'm familiar with the area you work, but man, tell me what's going on there and how you're building your business.
It's taken a long time to build it. I've taken a different path than most agents. If I would have gotten my license when I was 27, I would have probably gone about things a very different way.
Yeah.
And when you say long game, mine's been a long game. 22 years later.
Yeah.
Just starting to hit my stride, I feel like, and improving every day. And so we're really taking our business. And when I say I have two assistants. One that I'm developing more into sales. That's been handling a lot of my lease listings around UT over the past 5 years. And then I have one that solely focuses on sales with me. We're taking everything we do and flipping it upside down. And we're really trying to reanalyze how we can leverage ourselves to impact more people with less headache. That's our goal. How can we impact people in a better way and on a bigger scale and make their life easier? Because if we can make somebody's life better and easier, we'll win. And so, we're going to implement virtual assistants. The KV core system we're learning. I'm watching YouTube videos like crazy, really trying to implement. I'm really immersing myself in any EXP event I can possibly get to, in person, because I think relationships matter heavily. And the collaboration, our good mutual friend, Elizabeth Riley.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a saint, first of all. Okay. Yeah. She put on an incredible event in Austin last week. I was just absorbing it like a sponge. How do I do more video? I get opportunities to be on this type of podcast now that I didn't feel like I had before, right? So anything where I can get in front of people and learn from people better than me, that's my goal. I'm not taking everything everybody does. You can't. It'll drive yourself crazy.
Right.
But how can I take snippets? So my next thing is I'm hiring VAs. I need to get some things off my plate and off my assistant Catherine's plate that we shouldn't be doing. That'll give us more time to really spend to focus on our SOI and our clients.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
How would if someone, a lot of people moving to Texas right now, right? How would someone find you? How would someone find Brian Copland? Where would they find you at?
Absolutely. I do have a Facebook business page and Instagram as well. I have that because I do run social media ads. And so, you get the back end statistics on those and be able to run them. But my personal is always great. Instagram, Brian ATX12 is my handle, Brian ATX12. And then also feel free to call. Absolutely. Always, my phone is constantly ringing, 512-576-0288. And then email Brian at CoplandPG.com, COPLAND, Brian at CoplandPG.com. And I would love to talk to anybody because I'm still learning. 22 years later, I'm dumping everything out I learned before, and I'm trying to recreate and build off what I've done. And that's so much fun.
Nice. Very nice. I always give my guests the last 2-3 minutes to kind of talk about whatever maybe we didn't go over, or maybe whatever's on their mind, or on their heart, on their soul. Could be about your dog, probably going to be about your business, and what you're doing, and how you feel about things, or it could be about your family as we head into the holidays. Take us out, Brian.
I do have four children.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my kids have probably been in more homes than most new realtors. Anytime I scream the word lockbox,
Right.
they run for the door.
Nice.
They want out of there. They want out of the car.
Yeah.
And it's just like
A new clubhouse.
I do not think at this point I'm raising many realtors.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And so, but no, we love what we do. I have a very supportive family. I really like to be an inspiration for people, because I really do feel like I started from the bottom and I built it not knowing anything. I didn't have tools. I really studied other people, and really would encourage people to really leverage your other agents in your market and other agents around the country. Like, that is the amazing thing that I've learned in the past few weeks. People will talk to you because very few people actually implement. And we're just so excited. The market it's certainly shifted, but it creates opportunity.
Right.
And you have to have that glass is full mindset. And we certainly do in Austin, Texas. And we believe in what we do and helping people, and, just be genuine. Right. And I can't wait to see, hopefully in a year we're talking and again, and I'd love to give you a recap on where I'm at then, because
Definitely.
the future just looks so bright for myself, and my team is so excited. And I think everybody should be. It's tough times, but we can work through it together.
Definitely can work through it together. And that's why I'm excited for you, because one, you've built the experience and the know-how on the home sales, the home listing. That part, right? Back of your hand stuff. Now you have all these tools, right? All these tools that some you didn't have before, maybe, or you weren't even aware of, maybe. I know what you go through, right? When you make that transition. And it's just like, what's that? It's a Disney song, A Whole New World or whatever. You feel like
I'm living it.
looking around, go, what in the heck? This guy's got it.
It's a whole new world for me, and and it's a bigger world.
Yeah, it's a huge.
I'm expanding conversations with people I could never reach before, and that is the beautiful model of EXP.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a collaborative society, within the business model, and that I love. And it works for anybody. It works for somebody who's been doing it 22 years, who sold 70 million. It works for somebody who's a new agent. You are who you are. And if you want something that bad, EXP is, I feel, the right vehicle for me and many people I know. It's not about EXP. It's not about the 3 letters. It's about the tools that we're given.
I love it.
It's a lot of fun. If you're not having fun what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it.
I'm going to put that on your podcast. That's going to be the thumbnail. If you're not having fun, get out of here.
I may just create a podcast and call it that.
Don't get me started, because you're going to stay on for about 30 seconds. I was going to tell you, Brian, you should have, and I said it before, I said it at the top, you should have your own podcast.
Well, see, I'm going to learn from you.
You should learn from me. I'm going to tell you right now, I am a pro at this point.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, Brian, thanks so much, man. Brian Copland, eXp Realty Austin. Great talking with you. Hang on for me here a bit. I do look forward to the next 3, 6, 9 months, have you on again, see how things have progressed.
Thank you so much for having me, and you're doing great things.
Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.